Merv Griffin show. You ready? Just tell me when to start.
Go ahead.
Dick, it's good to see you.
Nice to be back.
That was quite a morning. We all picked up our papers here in New York. A lot of people didn't read beyond that headline. All it said here in New York was Dick Gregory shot in race riot. But a lot of people didn't get a chance to read beyond that headline. What was the true story?
Well, actually, I had gone in the night before. It happened early in the morning, which would have put it about 7 o'clock on the East Coast, which was about 5 o'clock on the West Coast. And we'd been in there for about 6 hours, which is very embarrassing to go in after a ride starts. When you think of all the facilities we have in this country to solve the problems of the masses. You see, if these conditions existed in any other country other than America, we could solve them. We have the know-how, we have the facilities, we have the research, we have the money. And after a ride starts, I say it's embarrassing for me as a Negro to go in and ask other Negroes to say, look, quit throwing the bricks, quit doing this. I have 5 kids. And I would never go to my baby's crib when my baby was crying and say, quit crying. First, I would find out why she was crying, because kids do not cry for no reason at all. It's the same thing about what's happening in America today. These Negroes aren't throwing bricks just for the sake of throwing bricks.
What started the riot? What was the incident?
Well, the incident that started the riot was an automobile incident, an incident of a policeman arresting a Negro who had been accused of drunken driving, which later he admitted he was drunk, and then later he said that he did not admit that he was drunk, or he withdrew the pleading guilty charge. But I think this is very minor. I think what we have to look at is that every incident that have been tipped off in this country in the last 2 years up north have been tipped off by uniformed police. Now, I'm not saying the police is right or wrong. I'm saying when you have these incidents that's tipped off with this one symbol, then we should look into it and see what it is. When 22 million people, be they black or white, start hollering police brutality, then it's time to start listening to 22 million people and going in. A lot of people say, well, it's not police brutality. Police brutality is not when a cop necessarily knocks me upside the head. It's when a cop calls me nigger when he's making the arrest. It's when he handles me wrongly in every process of processing the arrest. This is a form of police brutality. And there's so few people that seem to understand that when the Negro says it's police brutality, then you say, well, he's just looking for a way out. Well, how do these many people look for a way out in so many areas in America? It's like Billy Graham, I think, made the statement of statements when he came into L.A., and he said he thought the communists was behind the riots. And there's just not enough communists in Russia to stand on every corner in a Negro ghetto waiting for a cop to arrest a Negro and start a riot.
How many Negroes in that community in Los Angeles?
Oh, I would say upward to close to 300,000 or more.
How many participated in the riot?
Oh, at one time, I would say the most was 10,000.
What did the other 290,000 feel?
They felt a great victory. That's what they felt. It's just like I don't participate in the war in Vietnam, but when an American soldier wins a victory, I feel that I win a victory, and those people had such legitimate gripes and frustrations built in them for so long. Nobody ever talked about Watts. All at once you pick up the paper now and you find out that the highest density population of people in America is in Watts. Nobody knew this before the riot.
What are conditions like? I don't know the community of Watts.
Well,
I don't think as many times I've been to Hollywood, I don't think I've ever been to Los Angeles, to tell you the truth. Because most people think they're right together.
Yeah, well, one, the conditions are, I don't think it's only unique to Watts. I think you'd find it in any ghetto in the country. Unemployment is very high. The police brutality rate is very high. The
living conditions
for schooling is a very low standard. Living conditions are very crowded. This is an area where the Negroes and coming out of the South, coming to the North to find the great Mecca, everything that everybody's talked about that he was going to run away from. He came to L.A. and he didn't find it, but he stayed there. And they stand in every area in every city in America. And it's just a matter of, do every area have to blow up before? What, you read the paper the other day, they've sent $29 million into Watts. So you have to take a brick to get your problems solved in a country and a day and age that we are living. When we got behind in the missile gap, a bunch of scientists didn't have to come out with bricks and sticks and burn places down for the government to put in the right amount of money and to put the right missile program up. Why is it necessary for people to do this? And you know, and the frightening part about it is when you sit and talk about the problems that exist and the conditions that exist, a lot of people say, well, because I'm a Negro, I'm taking a way out. I'm trying to find an excuse for his actions. But there are many whites that know this. The president's beginning to come out now and talk about secret reports that they've had. They just released a report that they've had a year ago where some scientists from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in L.A., who Governor Brown had put on the payroll to do investigation on conditions, warned him a year ago that there was a hot spot and that it could blow. And it blew. And it's going to be a whole lot of watch all over this country up north if we don't go in and start solving the problem, not only the problem of the Negro, but the problem of the poor white man who also lives under the same conditions, but he's had better ways of expressing his than the Negroes had. And the minute his channels are cut off, and the way his channels are going to be cut off is by seeing the Negro walk out and through the civil rights organization or through BRICS advance the cause. And when I say advance the cause, bring the type of attention where they will go in and start solving the problem. You have white people that live in the ghetto that they're going to be next unless we sit down and solve this problem, which is not a Los Angeles problem, which is not a Mississippi problem, it's an American problem. And until we wake up and start solving these problems as American problems, we're in trouble.